Hello YouTube, this is Insane Monster, and this is the beginning part of What If Asta Was Half Demon. Now, as you know, half-breeds in Black Clover have two types of magic, and considering he's going to be half demon, we're going to put him with ice and fire demon magic. The ice magic will be similar to Grateful Buster's Demon Slayer magic from Fairy Tail, and Ren Okumura's blue flame power from Blue Exorcist. So, yeah. As for his background, we start where, if you've seen Blue Exorcist, then don't be surprised by this, but Satan ends up possessing an animal looking around the mortal realm. When he finds a woman, one thing leads to another, and they end up together. To the point to where she actually ends up being pregnant. As you can probably guess, this child will be Asta. But for a moment, Satan had to leave from connecting his soul to her body and had to return to his own. Though, to his surprise, he found out that once he got back, they had him captured and imprisoned, stating that his actions seemed suspicious and that until they figure out what he was doing in the mortal realm, he'll be locked up and detained. And depending on what he was doing, they could decide to destroy him. He was starting to panic a bit, worrying about his child. As time went on, Asta was born. Visually, there doesn't seem to be much different from him, though he does have a strong magical presence, as well as type another presence that makes people feel off balance. Not afraid, but not at ease either. Just an uncertain presence coming from Asta. Things still happen where Asta and Yuno still end up in the orphanage. As Asta and Yuno grew up, Asta found out about his ice magic pretty quickly. When he when he saw that some flames from a candle were about to hit Sister Lily, he extended his hand, yelling, "Watch out!" freezing the flames. And if you've seen Fairy Tail, I'm not even joking. It's like it's like a bit of ice with actual fire frozen in it. It's weird, and they don't know how that's possible, but they figure he must have some form of very unique ice magic. After that, Asta goes training with his ice magic more and more. Though he ended up getting attacked by a wild boar. Defending himself, he got angry and lashed out, accidentally discovering his blue flames. He looked at his hands and focused. In one hand, he focused to conjure up the insanely pure white ice with a purple tint to it, and in the other one, he conjured his flames. He doesn't have it to where he can use it on both sides, so nothing too serious. But he's only produced these abilities through his hands and such. When he tried to power up this magic throughout his whole body, he found that his ears got longer and pointed, as well as some horn-looking things made out of blue flames. Other than that, there seems to be some white marks coming up from his cheek towards his eyes that are the same color as his ice. He thinks this is kind of cool, but decides to tell Yuno, keep it as a secret for everyone, because they're little kids and they just do that because they find it entertaining. As Asta grew up, he got stronger and stronger. One though there were some rumors of people going out at night seeing somebody using odd ice and fire magic. When they attempted to melt the ice, they found out that flame magic doesn't even melt it. It's quite odd, and this sample of ice got to the Wizard King. When he took a look at it, he decided to go out and investigate himself. Going incognito as a traveler, he wore a cloak and went over to where the rumors came from, near Hodge Village. Asta and Yuno were training at the time, messing around with their magic. The Wizard King saw these kids and saw that Asta was using ice and blue flames. He noticed that the flames and the ice had odd coloring for normal ice and fire magic. He went to confront them and asked what they were doing. They just replied that they were training. When he asked why are they training, they just responded with that they're going to become the Wizard King. Then they started arguing about which one was actually going to become the Wizard King. Julius kind of smirked at this, and Yuno went a little bit away for them to practice long range attacks. So, unbeknownst to Yuno, a wolf began creeping up, and Julius was looking at Asta to the point to try to figure him out to where he couldn't tell whether or not he'd be a threat or not. Asta noticed the wolf about to pounce on Yuno. He yelled out to stop, and blasted a large ball of blue flames. Julius went to try to stop him, but he was too late. The flames. Julius saw the flames engulf Yuno and the wolf. He yelled, "What are you doing? Do you know what you just done?" But then he heard Yuno say, "Asta, what happened?" As he looked, he saw that Yuno didn't even have a scratch on him. However, the wolf was burned to ashes. He figures that self-consciously his will to protect his friend made it to where his flames didn't burn, that fire attack didn't sear him one bit, but incinerated the wolf entirely. Normally, a fire mage who prevents things from burning, their magic from burning something like Flagoleon and Leona, their attacks will just not burn anything while they do it. They can't not burn something and burn something with the same attack at the same time. It was the first time he saw this. But he knew that Asta did do it to try to save his friend. So he let it go. As for But after that, he expected both of them to be going to the Magic Knight exam once they get old enough. As they grew older and such, time finally came for them to go to the Grimoire ceremony. Once they got there, Yuno still got his grimoire, though for Asta, something strange happened. Within the walls of the grimoire tower, we see a five-leaf clover grimoire. The anti-magic demon noticed something strange, a presence of a demon, similar to him, but not. When he took a look to try to figure out what was going on, he saw this kid was a half-breed between demon and human. Though it didn't seem like anybody around was actually related to him or of anything. At the moment, they were all laughing at Asta for not getting a grimoire because and that he was a commoner. This is because demon grimoires are supposed to be 5-leaf clovers in the Clover Kingdom. So a 4-leaf clover wouldn't, 3-leaf or 4-leaf wouldn't go to Asta. The anti-magic demon looked and thought, this one is an outcast, same as me, and he's half of my kind. Given his uniqueness and the fact, if you remembered Black Clover, the anti-magic demon dweller sword has actually worked with magic twice and the demon destroyer sword once. If you don't know what I'm talking about, dungeon arc in the cave where they rescued the kids from having the magic drained, and releasing the ritual, the reincarnation magic from all the possessed Magic Knight humans. But now the demon decided, if he's like me, then he could help me and I can help him. These humans don't have a proper grimoire in this tower besides the one I'm in for him to use. So I'm curious about who his father is. Because it's definitely a, well, father or mother, but he just sees this as a great opportunity to boost his power along with Asta's. Bursting from the wall as Asta's leaving, the grimoire flies straight towards him. Once Asta grabs it, it changes. The outer markings still have the same black, dark pattern on it, though with a black clover. But now on the face and such, it was a mixture of purple tint white and blue, and the same color blue as his flames, with ice sword pattern coming from the outside of the grimoire to the inner part of the cover, with rings of fire looking pattern going both under and over the spikes of ice. He was he was excited to have his grimoire, though he did notice the 5-leaf clover. He decided to just leave at that point and go check it out. There weren't any spells yet, but when he flipped to a page, there was language in a odd there was a language in the that he couldn't read. He pulled out the Demon Slayer sword and tried something. He couldn't focus. He had trouble using any magic through it, at least at this point, though when he attempted to hold the anti-magic sword in one hand and then use magic in his other hand to try to combine it, it produced a ball of black flames, though there was a bit of a limit on how much he could produce, at least at the moment. As for his ice, it was a black ice shard. It was odd. He never produced black flames in ice before. But he puts the sword back in and says, I'll figure out what exactly this sword does as soon as I can, but I should probably get back. As he gets back, he sees that Yuno is captured by the chain mage after he was assaulted by the two nobles who were complaining about him getting a 4-leaf clover grimoire. Asta went right in for the attack and started swinging his sword around, destroying his magic. Once he saw what this sword could do, he was excited. The chain mage fired numerous attacks, even a chain going underground to attack him from behind. It got him in the shoulder, but he was able to come back from it just fine. But the chain mage's face just darkened, realizing how much power this kid has. If he wasn't a novice in actual combat, he probably would have already been dead. He decided to bail, but before he could, Asta blasted his blue flames at the chain mage, hitting him, sending him flying to the wall. Once he fell back down to the ground, Asta grabbed Yuno's grimoire and then used his ice magic to seal him up in a big chunk of ice. After that, Asta had to end up using his magic to break the ice, since the magic knights or whoever came to pick him up to bring him to prison couldn't really get him out. And yet again, Asta and Yuno do that fist bumping thing, stating that one of them is going to be the Wizard King. As they flash back to the point where that man attacked Yuno and such, trying to steal his pendant, and Asta, attempting to stop him, ends up roaring, literally breathing something similar to a blizzard, freezing the man, causing him to drop the pendant. Once Yuno grabbed his pendant, Asta tried to free him and was successful without causing any harm, though he was passed out now, getting out of there instantly. But yeah, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And this was part 1 of What If Asta Was Half Demon. Hope you enjoyed, and see you later.